If you'd like to know how to start an LLC with Northwest Registered Agent, you, my friend, are in the right spot. First and foremost, I am going to put a link down below in the description or the pinned comment, and if you click that, you'll get taken to a page that looks very similar to this. This specific link will allow you to get a $39 business formation service. You can form your LLC, corporation, or nonprofit today. So when you arrive on this page, what you want to do is simply click on the big button right here, and just keep in mind it can be slightly different as they do change around pages every now and then, but I'm pretty sure you're going to know exactly where you need to be when you arrive there. All right, so first and foremost, when we do begin, I do want to let you know, just give you a disclaimer, I am not a lawyer, nor if I was, I wouldn't be your lawyer. I am just a dude who has opened up a couple of LLCs, and I want to be sharing my experience and kind of giving you some details when walking you through the process, okay? All right, so for this, we're going to be talking about forming an LLC, so I'm going to be choosing that. And where would you like to form your business? I am in Florida, but of course, make sure that you choose yours appropriately where you are. Keep in mind that it can be ever so slightly different depending on the state that you're in. So this is 125. Let's check. Let's go to California. As you can see, 90 or 440 if you want to expedite it. So it is going to be a little bit different, 120 and 170, just to let you know based upon the specific state that you're in. So I chose Florida here, and it might be less or it might be more, just to let you know. Okay, let's click on continue once you've picked your state. All right, so tell us a few things about your company. Allow me to give you some details when it comes to your business name. If you already have one, fantastic, you're going to be good to go. But for me personally, the first LLC I ever used was my name and then Personal Training LLC at the end. So I like doing something a little bit more generic so it can literally be anything. And a great way to use that is just to play on words. Kind of create your own words, spell them differently. As an example right here, my YouTube channel is Marketing Island, so I did M and then Y-Land. So it sounds kind of like Mylands. There's an island in there, but it's spelled differently. Not a lot of people are going to do that, so you can create something truly unique. You can even do it around your name or something that you really like, but those are just examples that you can use when it comes to creating your LLC if you need any more help. Okay, so send a copy of lawsuits and legal notices to your attorney. If you don't have one, you can do no. We have a business purpose. So the purpose of the organization includes, but is not limited to, like what's the main thing you're going to be doing? You can throw that in there. If you're not sure specifically, you can always use a generic business purpose, okay? Then, of course, we have our physical address and our mailing address. I'm going to read both of these because they sum it up pretty well, especially when it comes to this one. It's actually pretty funny. So it says, the principal office address is a relic of ancient times when you had file cabinets full of very important corporate paperwork. Now that we have things called computers and files that can reside wherever you are, the quote-unquote principal address is a pointless requirement that no one will ever have the time or inclination to clean up in corporate statutes. We allow our clients to list our local office address as the principal office address on public records. We're the only incorporation service that does so, which is a nice little benefit if you ask me. So you can certainly go with that one, definitely a good choice, but if you want to specify it, you can as well. Same thing with the mailing address. This one's not as long. It says this is the address listed publicly as a permanent corporate record for your business. We allow our clients to list our address as their mailing address on their registration, and we scan any state mail to your online account the same day it arrives. Okay, so not bad. Once again, you can definitely do that one if you want or change it up, but those two can work very well in my opinion. Let's click on continue. All right, so when it comes to management type, there's going to be member and there's going to be manager. Okay, so I'm going to go over this because they explain it very well. So an LLC can either be member managed or manager managed, which is kind of a tongue twister. So most likely, I'm not going to say everyone because I don't know what you have in mind. Like for my LLC, it's going to be this, where it says members are the LLC's owners, and most small business LLCs choose to be member managed. This is the simplest structure and easiest to understand. This gives the owners the ability to make any and all decisions for the LLC. So that is what I specifically do. If you're going to be a very small business, you probably want to do that too. But on the other hand, it says in a manager-managed LLC, the members or owners can only elect who the managers will be. The managers have the right to bind the company and make decisions. This is a very useful structure for owners of companies that are not doing the day-to-day operations. This allows your operation manager or someone you designate of authority in your company to have full rights to go open company bank accounts or do very important things that a manager might need you to do. A manager-managed LLC is also a great way for a trustee to manage the activities of an LLC that is owned by investors. So like I said, if it's mostly just going to be you, if you're not having any managers, if you're going to be extremely small, this is probably going to be the one. Otherwise, there are some benefits to doing that if you need a manager. So choose which one's going to be best for you. Like for me, it would be member managed. Then it says list members or managers with the state. So If you list it, it says many financial institutions require the names and addresses of persons authorized to manage the LLC be listed on the state's records in order for the business entity to open a bank account. So, all right, so for this personally, I am listed with the state. It says many financial institutions require it. Like, for example, if you want to open up a bank account. So I think this one is overall going to be best. But if you want to be a little bit more private, you can omit it. Keep in mind, if you do that, you might have some trouble opening up a bank account in the process. But if you choose to omit, Northwest Registered Agent is often required by law to have this information on file. Don't worry though, if you choose to omit, your name will not appear on the state records, and we do not disclose or sell your information to anyone. So overall, this is going to be less privacy. This is going to be more privacy, but this is going to be a little bit easier, say, like when opening up a bank account. So I would just list right here. All right, and of course, we have member number 1. What you want to do is your first name, your last name, and of course, address to record with the state. Once again, you could just use the registered agent address, or you can specify if needed. All right, so we have that right there. If you do click on add member, that's how you can do an extra one. But if it's just you, you're going to be good there. So let's click on continue. All right, so next we have our contact details. This is going to be pretty straightforward, right? I'm going to do this very quickly, but you don't need to see me do this, so I'm going to skip ahead. Give me one moment. When you're done with this, click on continue, and I'll see you in the next section. All right, so next, account setup, email address, create a password, and of course, when you're done, click on continue, and I'll see you in the next page. All right, so we now move on to the business identity section. Allow me to read this to you, and then I will give you my thoughts about this because I have a lot of experience when it comes to these specific items. So, get a free business domain name for 1 year, plus 90-day free trials for a business website, email, and phone number. It says your website, email, and phone number are each $9 a month after the free trials end. You can keep all services active and get a bulk 20% discount for a combined monthly payment of just $21.60. So overall, that's actually not too bad of a price. But in case you're not familiar with it, my channel is Marketing Island. I'm telling you this because I do tons of reviews and tutorials when it comes to stuff related to websites, hosting, domains, purchasing, all that stuff. And I feel like there's a lot of other companies that can do this a lot better. I have nothing against, LLC formation companies, but I don't think that's going to be their strongest point. They're going to be fantastic when it comes to creating your LLC. But in my opinion, I think there's a lot better services that you can get for pretty inexpensive when it comes to hosting your website, getting an email with it, or maybe a phone number. So if you want to use this and just get it done with, that is completely fine. Like, bundle it. An extra $21.60 a month isn't too bad. But if you want to also a la carte, you can. But this is just my opinion. I feel like there are better ways of going about doing this. That's just my opinion. Like, if I was doing this right now as my example, I would just unselect those and just go to the next page. But if you want to use them, feel free to. I'm not going to stop you. I'm just giving you my opinion when it comes to that. Okay, let's click on continue. All right, so now we move on to some optional items, and with my knowledge here, I might be able to save you some money, which is always a good thing. So first and foremost, a tax ID, aka an EIN number, very important. However, you don't have to purchase it here, and let me talk about the specifics of having Northwest do it or doing it yourself. So I'm going to click on the question mark right here. In case you're not familiar, a federal tax ID number is also known as an employer identification number, EIN. They are the same thing. We'll take care of all the paperwork and get an EIN for your company from the IRS. Now, if you don't have an SSN, we can still get an EIN for your company from the IRS. However, the process takes more time, around 4 to 6 weeks, and is more complicated, therefore we charge more for this service. So keep in mind, this is what this is a service. So if you want Northwest Registered Agent to do it for you, you certainly can. If you have a social, it's going to be $50. If you don't, it's going to be $200. Now, if you wanted to, you can do this completely for free, and I'll show you how. Right here, as you can see, there's going to be a website. I will put the link deeper in the description, but it says right here, this is on the official irs.gov website. Use this tool to get an EIN directly from the IRS in minutes for free. Okay, so if you scroll down, it talks about what you need, who can use it, and this is going to be where you can apply, and it talks about a little bit more, only one EIN per responsible party, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be a way that you can actually do it for free. And so what's going to happen is that people will see this and say, like, how dare like an LLC service, charge for this? And that doesn't make it a bad thing. As you talked about here, it's pretty much being a done for you service. So your options are pretty much, you can pay $50 if you have a social for them to do this, or you can just do it for free and you're just going to have to do a little bit more paperwork and a few more things on your own. So it's not a bad thing that they charge for this, in my opinion. It's just a part of the service. I just want to make sure that you are aware of that so that you can actually get both sides and choose which one's going to be best for you. If you just want to get everything done for you and pay the $50, feel free to. But if not, you can always just do it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck this, so if you want to do it for free, you can do that. So S Corp election with the IRS. So an S Corp is a tax designation granted by the IRS that can be advantageous for some businesses. If you select to be an S Corp, your company will be taxed differently and will be required to meet and maintain certain requirements. The S Corp election is pursued most often by LLCs. We can prepare and obtain your S Corp election from the IRS. So this is going to be something you would have to read up a little bit more in case you want to say meet some of those benefits. Ideally, you're going to want to be in a little bit higher income bracket, in my opinion, if you wanted to use this. I'd say maybe around 100K or so, give or take. So if you were just getting started and maybe you're not going to be making a ton of money, you could probably just leave it off. Okay. All right, and then we have the premium mail service. All right, so for the premium mail service, as your registered agent, they accept and forward all state and legal notices. If you hire them, they handle all of your business's flat mail. You get unlimited email forwarding, a unique business address, and a few other things. It says, please allow up to 2 business days to receive your unique suite number. So that's going to be an example. If you wanted to do that, you can click there. They're going to have premium mail forwarding or a virtual office. So if you go right here and you click on this, it's going to be at $20 a month. So this one, once again, is really up to you if you want to go that route. There is the virtual office aspect, as you can see, with forwarding only. This is going to be $29 a month. Keep in mind the prices could change based upon where you are. So if you don't feel like you need that right away, you can always just turn that off. Here's going to be a trademark service. So if you want to protect your brand's name, logo, phrase, or design by registering with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, it says our attorneys review your trademark and its eligibility, then prepare and file your application. So if you want to go that route, you'd probably know that you'd want to, for the average, very, very small business owner who might, like a lot of the business owners I might be talking to who are doing digital marketing and they're not even creating products, they're doing other things like content creation. They might not even be needing to use that, but if you did, you would probably know it. It's going to be $599. There's also trademark monitoring, as you can see right here. If you click on this, it says it's free for the first 90 days, and after that's going to be $14 a month. So just kind of showcasing what it would be costing you if you went and did that. And last but not least, we have a trade name, or a DBA, which is short for doing business as. So this is going to be like a name or an assumed name, is like a pseudonym for your business that allows you to do business under a different name without forming a new business entity. Trade names require filing an additional filing. We can file this for you plus for $125 plus the state fee. So if you wanted to do that, you can. That's going to be up to you. I'm going to leave that blank. Let's click on continue. All right, my friend, we have made it to the last page, and this is obviously going to be on you, where you can obviously put in your information. And as you can see right here, this is going to be the total, as you can see. So keep in mind, remember, we did talk about how it was going to be a $39 package. That is if you just get everything basic and pretty much no additional upgrades or add-ons. So the reason why it does have more is going to be for the Florida 10 days processing. And like I said, that price is going to change based upon what state you're in. So you're looking at $164 here. And if you go to the compliance filing right here, they give you some more information. I'm not going to read that all to you, but in case you wanted to check that out. And all you need to do here is enter your information, click on the blue done button right here, and just like that, that is how you can start an LLC with Northwest Registered Agent. I hope you got some value out of this video, at least some of my tips when it comes to maybe even getting started or saving some money in the process. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to them right here. They're going to have a call number for you, so you can get someone on the phone right away in case there's something maybe that needs a little bit more explaining, but I hope that does it. I hope that helped you out. If you happen to be watching this video just to see some of the steps and how they're done, don't forget that you can click the link in the description or the pinned comment to get started at that fast access page where you can get up and running with the basic package for $39. And of course, there's going to be the processing fee and of course, any additional upgrades that you might want to use. My name is James. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy.